Now, what have we here? Name?
Permission to speak?
Baldrick, sir.
Go tally-ho, yibbity-dap and zing-zang spillet.
I've always had an enormous passion for Baldrick as a character because of what he did for me.
And your definition of dog is?
Sir Tony Robinson has already done a tour of duty in the trenches as Baldrick in Blackadder. It was the character who made him a household name and strangely launched the British actor and comedian into his other passion, history.
A lot of academic archaeologists were incandescent that Baldrick should have be fronting an archaeology show. That's when phrases like dumbing down first entered British discourse. But I think it did all right.
He's referring to Time Team, the unlikely show about digging up the past that's garnered an almost cult following.
It's bonkers, isn't it? A bunch of middle-aged hippies going into a field for 3 days and not finding much. Who would invest in that?
Time Team ended up running for 20 years as they dug through the often cold and wet conditions.
Sometimes I might be pulling a slightly more enthusiastic face than I actually feel when it's been pouring with rain non-stop for the last 11 hours and it's about 3 degrees and all I've got is a very soggy, muddy piece of pot which might be Anglo-Saxon but probably isn't.
More recently, Tony has been continuing his love of the past down under. His Time Walk series for Foxtel's History Channel has seen him digging up Australia's past.
I just walk through a place and notice the history that's surrounding me. I've been to Fremantle and done one of those. But this year, given that next year will be the 100th anniversary of Gallipoli, we wanted to make something a bit more ambitious and in some senses a bit more serious.
And that's what brings Tony Robinson back to Western Australia, his new series, Tour of Duty.
This week we're concentrating primarily on Fremantle. We're also going to be having a look at the Broome bombing.
And in true military style, Tony Robinson wants you. Well, your stories and memorabilia at least.
What are you hoping to find on Sunday when people come down to visit?
If I knew that, I'd be able to answer it, but what I want to find is something that's going to surprise me, something that makes me think, I never thought I would see anything like that.
Word has already got around with people sharing their family stories at the Western Australian Military Museum in Fremantle.
Beverly, this is an extraordinary find for your family. Tell me what it is.
It's the actual grave marker from my grandfather's grave in France.
Not only were we entertaining the Australian troops, we were entertaining the American troops as well. And because they're all in it together.
It was so brave that the Americans decided that he was worthy of the Distinguished Service Cross.
And which one is that?
It's one on
It's
the
the one on
end.
the end.
Part of my idea was that we want to get ordinary people involved in history.
Tony Robinson's Tour of Duty will air next year on Foxtel's History Channel. And this Sunday, people from WA are invited to take part in the show by bringing along their memorabilia.
And we invite everybody who's interested in the war, anyone who's got a good story, particularly anybody who's got any memorabilia in their family that they think might interest us, to come along. We've got our own historians here who can look at it, authenticate it, tell you more about its background. Some of that stuff will actually appear on the telly.
We've got some people that have jumped the queue a bit. They're a bit early. This is Sir Tony, who's come to have a look at what we've got.
You look like 4 buskers. So, are you coming on Sunday?
Yes.
Yes, we will be there.
Far and wide we've been, thousands and thousands of miles in 10 weeks. It's a bit knackering, but incredibly fulfilling.